Welcome to another episode of It's Debatable NBA Edition. I'm your host, Justin Jones, here with co-host Seb. We have not been here in a little while. This little month span, even for betters, right, is kind of dead in sports in a way, right? All the major, football, basketball, right? Soccer, right? We've seen the World Cup just end. So an interesting time in the sports world right now. The biggest thing that just, broke the news though, LeBron James finally making his decision, the long awaited decision of where he was going to go. We heard about Golden State. We heard about Miami. We heard about Cleveland, right? But he decides to go to the Philadelphia 76ers on a 2-year deal. Second year being a player option, around $8 million. Me being the LeBron James fan here, I'm gonna give my initial reaction. First, I want to thank the Philadelphia 76ers for welcoming LeBron and myself to the organization. I've been a Philly fan now, diehard fan for the last couple hours. It's just been a lot, man. I already had to drive over there, just check out the housing and living situation. I've always admired the cheesesteak sandwich. I've always did it. I always thought Kevin Hart was the funniest comedian of all time. You know, I always fucked with Gillian Wallow. Them Philadelphia Eagles, my new favorite football team. Just being a Philly fan is just a lot, man. Back in the days with Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley, just such a sports town. The fans definitely, always hold their city accountable. Seb, I see you smirking too. You have something to say? Because the Knicks are cooked. You want to get into it right there? The
Oh,
Knicks is cooked.
jump right into it. Listen,
Yeah. So what? I know you're upset because the
upset
Knicks
about what?
because the Knicks are cooked. They're not winning the title now.
You know who
But
we have Jalen Brunson.
here we go. You think we care about Jalen Brunson?
Jalen Brunson is better than anybody on that fucking Philly team. I'll tell you that.
No. So I'm taking Maxi over Brunson. All
You see what
right.
happened last time.
No, okay, but now we're about to have Brown with us. I'm taking Brown over Brunson. I'm
I
taking
would,
I'm
yeah.
taking VJ Edgecombe over Brunson. You already know I'm biased. Yeah, I'm on bullshit. I'm
You
on
can
bullshit.
I,
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. I
Is
know.
the East just got more competition now. I love it. You know,
No, where y'all competition. Y'all don't have to worry about nobody else.
how you the
We're
competition?
here. We're here.
How you
Well,
the competition? You ain't win shit. You just got there, nigga.
we're about to win the title this season. Are you not comprehending what just happened? This is called a power play. It's not clocking to you, is it right now?
Oh, this is just names. This is names.
Names.
Yeah, this is on paper, sounds nice. Let's put it on the court. Let's put Embiid's knees on the court for a substantial
Oh,
amount of.
first of all, let's talk about Joel Embiid, the best center in basketball, right?
Oh,
No,
but just last week we was talking about trading him. Oh, they got a new.
no, of course, no, that wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking
We
about.
got you. We got you.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
We
Like
got you. I thought it was
Joel,
trade Joel Embiid. Listen,
Joel
I don't want
Embiid,
later on.
Joel Embiid.
Listen, I know you being a LeBron enthusiast. I don't want you later on down the line when Joel Embiid is not playing these games and you're not the healthiest to be like, oh
That's
man,
in the past, bro. I'm not talking about those last seasons. Like, I'm talking about right now, bro. What are you
so,
talking about?
and you being the person, and I'll coach you. You don't get healthier as you get older.
Bro.
Now we're just gonna have amnesia. Now we're just gonna
But
forget about.
now, but now he's on the LeBron workout plan. You're not understanding. We already spoke to MB. Like, you're not getting it. I was just talking to MB before we came on here. Like, he's the big man ready to go. Big JoJo.
Oh, he's
Did you
ready to
forget?
go.
Did you
I
forget
hope so.
Brunson? Because 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 Brunson's never won an MVP ever.
Well, why he needs an MVP when he got a
No,
championship?
I'm just saying he's never been the best player in the league voted by the top tier media.
You don't
Mm,
need validation by votes. You need validation by championships.
alright.
You
Well,
know you don't.
LeBron got 4 titles, so now we're bringing this championship pedigree over to Philadelphia, and we're going to the finals. Now, I will say this: I definitely think the Knicks and Sixers are the top 2 teams in the East, and I do see a clash in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that would be cinema. I think this should be a either a Christmas game, right, or opening night. Even though we'll see each other what 4 times a year now,
Four
right?
times, yeah. When we're in that
Mm.
division,
Yeah,
and not
man.
only in that division, in that NBA Cup too, which is kind of crazy because
Exactly,
you still got
exactly.
Boston, and you still. I think the East, and if the Kawhi Leonard trade doesn't get rescinded, I think the East is way more competitive than the West. And it's crazy to say that now. That's kind of been a notion though, but realistically, if you look at the East landscape, you got maybe 4 or 5 teams that could give any teams on the West a run for their money. I think the ties have changed. I think that the East is more competitive than the West, especially when you bring in a LeBron James caliber player.
No, definitely. But all joking and trolling aside, I definitely think it's an interesting basketball fit. We all know the saying that everyone loves to say, there's only one basketball. I definitely understand that, but it's just gonna come down to sacrifice.
Right.
They said the same thing when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors, when LeBron went to the Heat, when Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett teamed up, right? They've won titles, but they had to sacrifice, right? Maxi's gonna get his touches, right? Brown's gonna get his touches. LeBron's gonna get his touches, and then Embiid's going to get his touches. I definitely think it's gonna take some time for everything to work and gel together. I'm
Mhm.
glad that they do have a championship coach in Nick Nurse, right? That has, just that experience with dealing with a lot of different personalities. Um, but I definitely think it will work in the end game. Now, of course, Embiid is not going to play all 82 games. So we can't expect that. I do definitely think he will be healthy going into to the season. Well, knock on wood, because the man could get hurt taking a shower. But I definitely think he'll be ready for the start of the season. I would hope him being with LeBron, he would learn from his work regimen. Meaning, and I say hope because I said this about Anthony Davis, and he never did it. But like I said, LeBron spoke to Embiid before his decision, along with speaking with Maxi and Edgecombe and Braun. I'm pretty sure all these conversations have already been had. But I don't think Braun goes to the Sixers unless he knows they're ready to compete at a high level. But just what was your initial reaction when when the news broke today?
Um, my initial reaction is, first of all, I want to give credit to the new GM. I'm not familiar with your name for the 76ers because I don't think Daryl Morey would ever pull this shit off. And just the moves that you made in the offseason to make yourself even more of a title contender. You have it's nothing short but respect, though. I mean, you lose guys like Oubre, Paul George, Andre Drummond, and then Kyle Lowry retires. You bring in guys now like you have Hawk Porty, Jalen Brown, new to the team, LeBron James, Anthony Simons, like all these new names that you bringing along now to make your team as competitive as possible. You put yourself now to where, yeah, if we have the maybe if we're healthy, we can compete with the best teams. To now you're saying, oh, we're gonna be one of the teams that you're gonna have to worry about us, the upper echelons of the East. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, what the Sixers did, they put themselves ahead of teams like the Cavs, Boston. Who else am I thinking about? Indiana, if they was to get healthy, like, you know what I'm saying, they're right up there with the Knicks. So they skipped Detroit too, I believe. Like, you know what I'm saying, you put yourself in a position now to where you could see yourselves coming out the East, and it's more realistic now than back then. To where if we had the quote unquote if Embiid is healthy, if the team stays healthy, if Paul George stays healthy, like, you know what I'm saying, you put like that realism because you brought in a guy like LeBron James who still could provide you a bunch of offense and provides a lot for a team in that winning championship mentality. You brought in another champion in the Finals MVP. You have two Finals MVPs now within Jalen Brown and LeBron James. You have a NBA MVP in Joel Embiid, a Tyrese Maxey who's a young star. Edgecombe's going to have to learn how to play off ball a little bit more. That's still a learning progress, though. Nick Nurse, who's a championship coach. You signed a backup center in Ariel Hawk-Porty, who can play those minutes too, championship as well. Dominic Barlow's only going to get better. You drafted LeBaron Philon, who should be a young promising star. Like, when I look at the roster, I say they're ready to compete. It's just internally, my questions are how they going to look on paper, how they going to look on the court, how are we going to divide touches and who to go to down the stretch of the games. But once again, these are all good problems to have. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? It's competition now, and I'm really like feeling like the move because you know what I'm saying. I want to see who's the best out of the best when it comes to the East, man. Because the Knicks aren't going nowhere. Boston, I feel like they still have some type of pedigree to where they refuse to lose. Jason Tatum's going to want to have better his seasons. Toronto just got better at adding Kawhi Leonard if that trade falls through. Tyrese Halliburton, like the East right now is just going to be so much watch. Like I think a lot of live NBA games. I'm not even thinking about the West. When I'm thinking of the West, I'm only thinking about OKC and the Spurs. When I think of the East, it's just like you could pick a name out of a fucking basket and there's a chance that they might go to the finals though. So, it is very interesting though. But once again, shout out to the 76ers GM. I think that he made a huge turnaround for this franchise. That's a certain way, that's the type of way you're supposed to respond after having a disappointing playoffs season to where you came back from 3-1 against the Celtics. But then again, you got swept against the Knicks though. So you had to make a whole roster reconstruction, and they did nothing short of that, man. They got busy. As soon as free agency started, they got busy. And you know what I'm saying? You got Jaylen Brown. You got a team now. So it's going to be interesting to see, though. So shout out to the 76er GM. I think you're muted, gang.
Yeah, I definitely agree that the East is going to be a lot tougher, right, than the notion in years past that the West was always a lot stronger. Um, how I see the East now, at least with the top four teams to me, I got in no order really, the Knicks, the Sixers, my fault, the Knicks, the Sixers, the Indiana Pacers, and Toronto, once again, if that Kawhi Leonard deal does go through. But yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. It's going to be very interesting to see just what happens next. You still have some major free agents out there with the Bradley Beals, DeMar DeRozan. You still got Draymond Green, even though I expect him to go back to Golden State. You got James Harden. I expect him to go back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Still got vets like Kevin Love out there, Russell Westbrook. Right, we have to see what happens with Jonathan Kuminga, but this has been probably one of the craziest off seasons we've seen maybe ever. Do you feel like that? Has this been the craziest off season in NBA history?
Yeah, I definitely do feel as if a lot of key marketable guys that we didn't think was going to get moved. When I think
Hold on,
about it,
time out, sir. Time out real quick. Keep going, everyone. I'm gonna be gone for about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna come right back. Seth, hold down the show.
for surely. Yeah. So, like I was saying, I think for just this postseason, this off season, actually, I think a lot of marquee guys has been able to move around and just start fresh with a new franchise. I think, and this is all starting with the Knicks. The Knicks win a championship, now the whole league fucking shakes up, bro. Like what the fuck? Like literally, the Knicks win the title and everything just got shooken up, man. Like I can't name you the amount of stars that all stars that has switched around in the league. And mind you, I didn't even in our past conversations, we didn't even talk about Miami yet. Like the East right now is on fire. And I think that basketball is only going to get better. Like, and this is coming at a time to where the NBA just had the new deal with the Peacock, the NBC, the Amazon Prime. So you get that. Now this is just marketable for the league. Now everybody's going to tune into opening night, and the NBA Finals just did numbers out of this world because the Knicks was there. Now you telling me the Knicks gets to play against Philly, Miami, man. Right now the league is on fire. Right now, I'm very interested to see a lot of I'm ready to get the season started. Actually, I'm ready to get the season started because I really want to see how these things pan out. Because I can't give you one definitive winner right now for next year's title. I can't. It would be cool if the Knicks do it again, but there's so much parity in this league right now that's what's best for the NBA right now. The fact that all this is going on is what's best for the NBA right now because you get to a plethora of options on each and every night what you want to tune into. Oh, let me go watch the Blazers with John Morant on there. Let me go watch the young, exciting Minnesota Timberwolves team now with Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball. You don't like that? Cool. Let me tune into the East. Let me see how Kawhi Leonard and Scotty Barnes is doing. Let me see how Giannis is fitting in with this Miami Heat team. Let me see what the 76ers are doing now. Fuck it. If you want to watch Jalen Brunson, you want to watch the Knicks, you could watch that too. There's a lot of you want to see 1B? Go ahead, you see 1B. You want to see how the OKC Thunder are looking? Are they going to be as dominant as they was for these past 2 years? We gotta wait and see now. This year in the NBA, I think the only word to put it as is competition. If you're not rising, you're sinking. I think this year a lot of players are going to try to make a name for themselves because I'm just looking at the landscape. It's not real one dominant team. We're not in that era of just the Golden State where they ran the league. We're not in that Miami Heat era. We're not in that Lakers era to with the Kobe and Shaqs. This era of basketball now is survival of the fittest. Let's put it like that. And I want this to get clipped because I want to see how people feel about this. I think this era of basketball we're in is survival of the fittest. If your team is not equipped to, compete with the upper echelons team, you might as well stock and plummet and try to fix that. I think that now it's really the best of the best when it comes to competition. That's why I was just telling like the people like competition right now is at an all-time high in the NBA. Like you can't give me one definitive winner because everybody has a guy, everybody has a team, or you know what I'm saying, a team that makes sense. And I think
So
chemistry is
you
going to.
think Sacramento has a guy?
Not yet. I gotta see how Darius Acuff pans out. But
My
I'm
fault. My fault. The Kings fans. I just got those shots in the air right now.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
mean, if not, I mean, if you don't have a guy, then you're plummeting trying to find a guy, and you know what I'm saying. It's not like it's battle, the survival of the fittest in the NBA right now. Like I'm saying, like if you don't have a team that's gonna compete, like bro, you might as well tank, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Like you're
well,
not
you
like
can't really. Well, you can't say that anymore about tanking. You know, with the new tanking rule, your odds are kind of cooked anyway. So you
yeah,
really
it's
can't
kind of
tank.
fucked up because you telling me if I'm the Sacramento Kings and I got to put Darius Acuff out there against a fucking Philadelphia team like this now, they're getting smacked by like 200. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even a team like the Brooklyn Nets, I give them a better chance than a couple of these teams now in the NBA. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a couple teams that's in the lower echelons.
Well, I don't know. We got to see with that ball movement of Julius Randle and Michael Porter Jr. and the 16 point guards that they have. We're gonna have to see about that. But you did make up a great. You brought up something interesting that we never really spoke about. I want to shout out to all the rookies that was just drafted and the job that they did in summer league. And one in particular, could we guys show love? Caleb Wilson,
Yeah,
who came into into the league getting comparisons to Kevin Garnett and stuff like that. And now how I feel, and no disrespect to Kevin Garnett, but I think that's his floor. This kid has so much talent and so much athleticism and just feel for the game and that hunger and tenacity. He can be one of those generational type players, especially if he has this 3 point shot going like we've seen in some of the, I'm talking about heavy pull ups, has he going to the basket, dunking on people like Blake Griffin. He's talking his shit. I seen the game, him versus the Lakers. He's in it. I believe he was talking shit to someone on the Lakers, talking about who are you? This kid definitely has so much talent. I like what I seen from AJ DeBonsta. He definitely, maybe I can say, made it look the most easy, right? He didn't ever look like it was hard for him to get 25, even though it was just the summer league. But shout out to Peterson, Cameron Carr. Who stood out to you in this summer league?
who stood out to me? I have two names in particular. One, I'm gonna start with Caleb Wilson because I definitely feel like I didn't really get to see him take as like watching him at UNC. It looked like he was just like a prototypical four. I think he can expand his game to where he could be a three-level scorer though, because the way he was shooting the ball, if you could translate that to the league and find his spots the best, I think he could be up there. I think he's my sleeper for rookie of the year. I think he has a lot of raw talent. I think once his game
Wait,
gets
say it
very
again. My fault. Who'd you just say you had for rookie of the year?
Caleb Wilson.
Okay.
I think because he's in a situation where I think he could be the man. I think the Chicago
Yeah.
Bulls know that, and I think he's going to be. But that's my number one answer. My second answer was going to have to be Keen Wagler. I think Keen Wagler was struggled. I think in his first game or two, but I think as Summer League got came along, he started progressively getting better. I think the Clippers got a hidden gem with him. I seen a lot of people was already talking about him as a bust, and I'm saying this is Summer League. You got to give time for players to
Yeah, we
develop.
can't call people bust in the summer league. That's kind of insane.
I mean, some people was already doing that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just media nowadays. I think it's just all talk, all noise. I think you know what I'm saying. There's still jitters, there's still comfortability, and I think Keen Wagler, the way he was able to navigate from just having a slow start in the summer league, so he was literally cooking that towards the end of summer league. I'm very impressed with him too. So right now, I'll say Caleb Wilson, but Keen Wagler was right up there with me.
Right. Right. Yeah, I love all the prospects that I've seen so far. And sort of just like you was hinting at, the league is just in a great place right now. Right. We are seeing a lot of the people that we grew up watching, the LeBrons, the Stephen Currys, the Kevin Durant's, the Paul George, right? Kawhi Leonard's, all the people like that. This is like their last run, right? And now we're just moving into the future, man, right? To where the Luka Doncic's, the Anthony Edwards, the LaMelo Balls, right? The Monsters, like these are gonna be the people that's running the league now. So it's definitely interesting. And yeah, this season could be the most watched of all time.
I do believe so too. And I was just talking
Right.
about it. Well, I was talking about how, especially with the new deals, and you know, the NBC deal, the Peacock, the Amazon Prime, that you know, it was introduced and it brought in great revenue, in my belief, because you know what I'm saying it was new, but the league was still entertaining, especially like in the playoffs, especially with the Knicks and stuff like that. It brought great numbers. They were talking about how this was probably one of the most viewed finals and stuff like that quite some time. You take that up
Right.
another level to now you bring in now we're switching up the whole league to now everybody has a guy on their team. How the LeBron James of the world's moved to the Philly, how you know what I'm saying? This is a whole bunch of other players that you could watch now and you know what I'm saying? I think this is good parity for the league. I think that the top of the top is really like excellence of basketball. And even at the bottom of the bottom, you still got the young up and coming players, like we said, the Caleb Wilsons of the world, the AJ DeBontas, even though he might be in playing contention though. The Cameron Boozers, the Darren Petersons, those are still young guys we're excited to watch. Even the kid that's on Brooklyn, Michael Brown, he has
Right.
some promise too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these players in this year's draft have a lot of promise. And even when I'm watching Milwaukee, with Braden Berries, I seen a kid that, you know what I'm saying? He looks ready. If I'm Kevin Porter and Ryan Rounds, I'd watch out because that kid, if he gets his shit like in order, he could be the next guard of the future for the Milwaukee Bucks. Nate Met can do something too. I'm watching
Right.
Cole.
Right. Also shout out to the kid from the Warriors who just won the Summer
Oh,
League
yo, yeah,
MVP.
Jackson Lindenberg. And me personally, I want to start by saying my apologies, bro. Like I seen your game, but I thought the Warriors needed to draft a big. But I think they're in good hands with a kid like that that wants the moment, that wants to play, that's eager. You see him already trolling Draymond. He wants that type of competition. He wants to live up to the moment, to the hype. He's talking about starting already. My apologies to Jackson Lindenberg and shout out to you for winning Summer League MVP though. You know, this is going to be a very interesting year for him, mixing in with all the veterans. There's going to be a lot asked of him. I think he's going to get asked a lot to play a lot of defense, hit some timely shots. I don't know how Steve Kerr is going to use him, but I think that, you know, if grown correctly, he could be a special talent for them.
Yeah, for sure. You know, with Steve Kerr, you either end up like Jordan Poole or you end up like James Wiseman.
Or he could be a Jonathan Kaminga or a Moses Moody. I just hope that this is just the one draft pick that they have to where it produces a quality talent.
Right.
So that's my
And
only that's my only thing with that. I think that that's why I rather them drafted the center. Uh, Even though he struggled a little bit in summer league, like feel me, that's a low risk, high reward type of thing. I think Yaxel is just like you see what he could do, but is it working that system? I think certain players They need their own they need their own like type of team to develop, and that's what I wanted out of the actual Lindenberg. But I got that. Oh wait, my son Sean Chung in here. What up, Sean? He asked you a question.
You know
He
what's
said, "How you?"
crazy? That I see. Shout out to Sean Chen. He said I got to hear from Justin how we feel about this ring chasing shit. And that was actually a question that I was gonna ask you about how does this affect LeBron's legacy. Um, I think the goal in the NBA is to win a championship, right? Michael Jordan, when he was playing, was he not ring chasing? Cause I think now we're switching. I feel like in the NBA media, just the NBA world, the sports world, we mix so many things up and lump it all together. Everybody in the NBA, for the most part, right, is ring chasing. That's why you're playing the games. You're ring chasing. The Knicks last year, right, they were ring chasing. The Spurs was ring chasing. Thunder, ring chasing. Right? This is what everyone in the league is doing. Now, if you want to ask how does switching teams affect a person's legacy, that's a different conversation, right? And I think with LeBron, his career is solidified. The thing is that we have people, and I don't know why, who really don't like LeBron, or it's more of a case of they make their careers in media off nitpicking his career, right? And if that's what you do, that's cool. LeBron's a top three player all time, period. Whether he had went to Sacramento, he went to Philly, he could have went anywhere, and it all would have been ring chasing. Because what team besides if he literally went to Sacramento was not gonna be now kind of a title favorite? Right? If he had went to Golden State, you would have had people say, "Oh, he doing the Kevin Durant. He went to go run with Steph. He's going with." If he had went back to Cleveland, oh look, he went back home, but his team is stacked. He could have went to Miami. Oh, he wants to play with a top five player. If he, we both said we we had like the Denver idea. People would have said, "Oh, now he has to play with the three-time MVP." There wasn't really a situation he could have gone to, which people wasn't going to say that. But once again. I got LeBron as the GOAT, right? I feel after 2016, that kind of solidified that just for me. And if you don't have him as the GOAT, that's fine. But I think you just got to be realistic. He's one of the best players of all time, and we will miss him when he's gone. That's just what I will say.
If that nigga ever decides to retire, my
No,
thing
he
is
is.
this:
Man, hold on,
I don't.
hold on. No, my fault. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
My thing is this: I just think that wherever he went would have been a problem. I mean, he's in his career now. When it's shown, when you say like sign an event minimum is crazy, money's not really a thing for him anymore, man. I think it's about winning another one, man. I don't see nothing wrong with that, especially if you play at a high level as much as you do. Still, for at his age to still be playing at a high level, nigga. I'm not young enough to be the number one option though. But if I have a team around me that I could see winning, I don't see why not, man. I don't think it hurts his legacy, nor do I think it adds on. I think now it's just more so that it's just longevity. And I think that LeBron's career is just going to be predicated on longevity. I think that's something you can never take away from LeBron James is how much hours, how much time, how much sacrifice he puts into the game. And this is one of the reasons why he might not be my GOAT, but when people say he's the GOAT, like Justin says, I don't argue against that because if that's how you feel, you have a reason why. He has a resume that stands out like that. I think nowadays it's really about preferences. But I ain't even mad at it though. I think this move is just a power move. Like you said earlier to begin the show, I think this is a move that, feel me, if I'm gonna spend my last couple years in the NBA and this is my final stop, I want it to be a stop to where I win. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I know Bron still wants to get his fifth ring. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was gonna do it with Steph so they could get a fifth ring together though, but he's seen a better option though. So with all due respect, man, I think I don't see nothing wrong with the move.
right. And because we do have to come to the end of this show. It wasn't going to be a long episode. One, because Well, really, cause my phone about to die, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But I just wanted to say, addressing what Sean said. Um, LeBron James isn't. Well, in my opinion, I don't feel he's chasing a ghost. I don't think LeBron at this point is playing, saying I have to be better than Michael
We got
Jordan.
Sean Chung on the line too.
Right, right.
Why that nigga just call? What the fuck, Sean?
Hold on. I just want to get this off. I don't think he's playing right now and think like this decision was based off what team I can go to pass Michael Jordan. LeBron could win the next two titles and be tied with Jordan. Jordan fans are gonna say that that Jordan's the GOAT, and LeBron fans are gonna say LeBron's the GOAT. There's nothing I feel that can happen right now that's going to change that. But I want to shout out Brian Windhorst. He said something earlier that we all should have paid attention to. I remember when this whole LeBron thing first started with what team he was gonna go to this off season. He a lot of the news that came out was he wants to go to a team where he can enjoy himself and have fun per se, right? But we didn't realize LeBron's having the most fun when he's winning titles. And I love how Windhorst really broke that down. He has the most fun when he's winning titles. Right? When he was with the Heat, winning titles, that's when we seen him the most happy. Goes back to Cleveland, wins them a title. He's happy. Goes to LA in the bubble, wins the title. He's happy. So shout out Braun. He's a transcendent player, icon. Like I said, we will miss him when he's gone. This is his last 2 years because I do think he opts into that player option. I don't see him retiring after this season. But that's it, man. Seb, are you there?
Yeah, my phone, I'm still here.
Yeah. So if you do you have anything else to say? Cause I don't got anything else.
Um, now we could finally get the schedule rolling. Adam Silver, you could do as you please and get the schedule rolling now. We could see our marquee matchups, our opening
Right.
night games. We could see our Christmas schedule, all types of shit. Um, I think free agency now could finally go accordingly. James Harden could sign his contract. We could find out where the rest of these players are going now that the LeBron sweepstakes is over. Yeah, Sean Jack and Knicks versus Philly Christmas Day game. Tickets will go a band for the nosebleed, man. That shit like the finals.
No,
I think
I definitely agree. I like the Christmas games being that maybe opening night. We are going to have to see. But yeah, man. All right, so we will be back next week. For y'all. Um, and talk a little bit more just about what's going on. We also got WWE part two to our SummerSlam. We will come with that next week. So just be on the lookout. Once August, second week of August, we'll ramp back up. You got football coming. You will see football episodes, different guests here on the show. But that's gonna do it for this episode. Like I said, I'm sorry y'all, but my phone is going to die. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Please. Is that a deer? My fault, y'all. I just seen a deer out of nowhere. My fault. But well, like I said, like, comment, subscribe on the video. Follow us on all social media platforms at it's debatable double underscore. Follow me at Justin Jones on Facebook for details and development on the platform. Remember, if you see somebody like Sebastian on your lawn,
all
don't
right.
be afraid to use
That's it.
your firearms.